Hello guys, you are seeing Prime News Australia, where we show you the latest and important news of Australia in the fastest and reliable way. So come, let's start by not delaying 25 big updates of the Australia, especially for you. Before proceeding in the video, comment by commenting from which state you are watching, and also like video so that YouTube can reach this video to more people of Australia.
Australia and Japan finalised a historic agreement in Melbourne to modernise the surface fleet. The SEA 3000 programme will deliver general-purpose frigates designed to secure northern maritime trade routes. Defence Minister Richard Marles emphasised that a lethal surface fleet is now more critical than at any point in recent decades to maintain regional Indo-Pacific stability. The Australian Defence Force's Cyber Command marked its second birthday today in Canberra. Since its inception in 2024, the command has participated in over 130 domestic and international operations. Major General Robert Watson stated that the unit has significantly evolved its understanding of information warfare, proving vital in defending the nation's digital infrastructure. Under Exercise Coastwatchers, the Australian Army has deployed new drone and border surveillance courses to regional teams. The initiative aims to level up the technological capabilities of units stationed in remote coastal areas. By integrating advanced drone reconnaissance with traditional scouting methods, the ADF intends to create a more responsive barrier against illegal maritime arrivals. Australia has joined the United States and Japan in a new research pact focused on advanced military aircraft materials. The collaboration will test composite materials designed to withstand extreme combat environments and improve the longevity of stealth coatings. This trilateral move is seen as a strategic push to keep the Royal Australian Air Force at the cutting edge. New data reveals Australia's total public sector debt has officially smashed past the $1.6 trillion mark. Economic analysts from the Institute of Public Affairs have criticised the reckless borrowing, warning that funding subsidies and a growing bureaucracy is undermining long-term prosperity. There are rising calls for the federal government to pivot toward productive investments. The Reserve Bank of Australia's latest bulletin highlights a continuing trend of decashing. The 2025 Consumer Payments Survey shows that physical currency is increasingly rare in daily transactions, replaced by digital wallets and biometrics. While the RBA remains committed to currency stability, the data suggests that Australia is rapidly approaching a truly cashless retail economy by 2027. Financial markets are bracing for the next Consumer Price Index update scheduled for April 29. Current indicators show annual inflation sitting at 3.7%, with the RBA monitoring the figures closely to decide on potential interest rate adjustments. Economists remain divided on whether the current sticky inflation will necessitate a further hike, or if stability is on the horizon. The Australian dollar settled at 0.7166 United States dollars in late trading yesterday. Despite global market volatility, the currency has remained resilient, supported by strong commodity exports and a stable trade-weighted index of 66.3. Market analysts suggest that the AUD performance is being bolstered by renewed demand from Asian manufacturing sectors, providing a buffer against fluctuations in the US economy. Assistant Governor Sarah Hunter appeared before the Senate Select Committee on Productivity via video conference today. The hearing focused on identifying structural bottlenecks in the Australian workforce that are hindering economic growth. Dr. Hunter emphasised that while employment remains high, the quality of output per hour must increase if the nation is to maintain its high standard. RBA Deputy Governor Andrew Hauser addressed the IIF Global Outlook Forum in Washington, warning of the risks of deglobalization. He noted that the fragmentation of global trade routes is creating midterm challenges for central banks worldwide. For Australia, a middle power heavily reliant on open trade, these shifting geopolitical alliances could lead to higher import costs and disruptions. During a National Press Club address today, Minister Mark Butler defended the government's move to control NDIS spending growth. He argued that the reforms are necessary to preserve existing support for the most vulnerable while curbing administrative bloat. The minister faced tough questioning regarding the impact of these cuts on participants currently struggling with the national cost of living crisis. The federal government confirmed it is scrapping certain private health cover subsidies for seniors over 65. Minister Butler noted that the decision reverses a decades-old policy, aiming to redirect funds into the direct aged care system. Critics argue this may cause thousands of older Australians to fall through the cracks, potentially overwhelming public hospitals as seniors drop coverage. A horrific truth has emerged regarding romance scammers targeting Australians. Federal police have uncovered evidence that many of the individuals making the calls are themselves victims of human trafficking, forced to work in scam centres across Southeast Asia. Authorities are launching a new awareness campaign to educate vulnerable Australians on how to spot sophisticated emotional manipulation. Remote indigenous communities are reportedly bearing the brunt of a localized fuel crisis, with some regions seeing prices double the national average. Lack of competition and high logistics costs are being blamed for the spike. Community leaders are calling for urgent government intervention, warning that the high cost of fuel is limiting access to essential services. The owner of the fire-hit Viva Energy refinery in Geelong announced that the facility will return to near full capacity within weeks. The recent blaze had sparked fears of a localized fuel shortage and safety concerns for residents. The quick turnaround is being hailed as a win for domestic fuel security, though investigators are still looking into the policy failures. A new report highlights that as of April 2026, Australia still has 0 domestic SAF production facilities. Despite global shifts toward greener flying, Australia continues to rely entirely on foreign jet fuel imports. Experts warn that without imminent commercial investment, the domestic aviation sector faces significant technological and cost barriers that will eventually lead to higher ticket prices. Australia's net oil import coverage currently averages 58 days, well below the 90-day minimum mandated by the International Energy Agency. While the Fuel Security Act of 2021 was intended to bolster reserves, recent data suggests the target remains elusive. The shortfall leaves the nation vulnerable to international supply shocks, particularly given the ongoing instability in energy exporting regions. Significant quantities of tallow and waste vegetable oils produced by the Australian farming sector are currently contracted for export rather than being converted into domestic biofuels. Industry analysts suggest this represents a missed opportunity for national self-sufficiency. There are growing calls for the government to incentivize the processing of these feedstocks at home to create resilience. For the first time since 1974, the Socceroos have a clear path for their FIFA World Cup 2026 campaign following the official draw. Australia will face a challenging group stage, but optimism is high among fans and coaching staff. SBS Sport has confirmed it will provide live and free coverage of all matches as the nation prepares. As the road to the FIFA World Cup 26 intensifies, SBS has released a comprehensive guide on who has qualified so far. The tournament, set to be the largest in history, will feature several debutant nations. Australian football fans are already booking travel for the North American-hosted event, with the Socceroos expected to draw record crowds. The King has led tributes to his late mother on what would have been the centenary of her birth. Ceremonies took place across several Australian capital cities to mark the occasion. The milestone has sparked a mix of nostalgic celebration and renewed debate over Australia's constitutional future, though the official events remained focused on the Queen's service. Australian comedian Alexandra Hudson, a triplet living with cerebral palsy, has shared how her unique upbringing led to her successful career. Hudson, who calls herself a criplet, uses humour to dismantle stereotypes about disability. Her story has resonated across the country, highlighting the importance of visibility for people with disabilities in the Australian arts and entertainment industry. A 47-year-old Seaford Riseman was arrested today for allegedly sending 44,000 abusive text messages and 1,000 graphic images to an Adelaide media outlet over 5 years. South Australia Police tracked the digital trail following a report earlier this month. The man has been charged with using a carriage service to harass and is bailed to appear in court.